Hello, my name is Angelo. I'm with Freedom Mobile Living, and this is my second video in the series on how I become a nomad. Haven't watched the first video? Go ahead and go back and do that now, and then come back and you can catch up here on the second video. But it's very important that you watch the first video, which I laid the foundation of how I became a nomad. So after we put everybody on remote and got rid of the offices and the warehouse, that was my opportunity to start my nomad journey. With it, I learned one thing is I wanted it to be a minimalist as well. So I had to unload a lot of different things that I had from the sticks and bricks. One thing I wanted to do is find something where I could support my lifestyle on my journey. So the best thing I found out was rideshare, because I can go into another city, I can go ahead and put the app on, and once I do that, then I can get rides. And I enjoy rideshare. I enjoy the interaction with the people I pick up. I enjoy, finding out people's lives. I always believe they ask, what are you doing now? And I said, I'm a driver and a psychologist. It seems like as a driver, it's similar to a bartender where everybody wants to unload their thoughts and their stories on you, which is okay because I enjoy that because I get to learn different lifestyles, and that's very intriguing to me. Once I did that, I took off into Yuma. And one of the things I found out as far as being a nomad is when I first started, I was scared. I talked a lot about becoming a nomad prior to that, so I almost had to come up to the plate and start doing it. But when I did it, I was out there by myself, and initially I felt really scared. But one thing I have learned as far as being a nomad is that a lot of your fear is here, right upstairs. It's not the real perception or reality. It's only your idea of fear. So one of the things that was fearful for me is I was used to being in sticks and bricks. Now you're going to be in a vehicle, and so how is that going to play out when I have extra time to burn? What am I going to do? I don't want to sit in a vehicle. So my idea is my mobile vehicle, which was my RAV4. I used it as a means of a mobile bedroom. So that's where I was going to sleep. So I tried to make it as comfortable as I could, so when I slept at night, I had a good night's sleep, and I didn't disturb or ruin my next day. So one of the things I did is I did research YouTube channels to find out how people built out RAV4s. Now, I didn't want something permanent, and I didn't want to do something to the vehicle where it would reduce the resale value of it. Because that was important to me. So when I went to go to sell it, I wanted to get the maximum amount of dollars I can from it. And if I would do all that type of modifications, I could never do that. I wanted something simple that I could pack up and put in the back where it didn't take up a lot of room, because I got passengers that come in here, and 9 times out of 10 I do a lot of airport rides, and with those airport rides they have luggage, so I have to still have space in order to put the luggage. And when I open up the hatch and I go to put their luggage in it, I didn't want anybody to notice that, hey, this guy lives in his vehicle. So and I'll show you later in another vehicle exactly how I constructed it. If you look at some of the previous videos, I constructed it, but you can tell that I still had a lot of stuff. So as I was doing my nomad journey, I started eliminating a lot of stuff. So it's almost like I was purging my vehicle every time I turned around. I realized when I first started, I had like 25 shirts, and I'm thinking, I don't need 25 shirts. I can do laundry once or twice a week. And when I do laundry, I don't need that many. So the maximum amount of shirts I have now is 7. So I have 7, and I might have a couple pairs of shorts and 2 pairs of long pants. So I'm very minimal as far as my items that I carry with me. I do have a mattress I lay out because that makes it comfortable, and I have a sleeping bag that I use. I don't use bedding, I use a sleeping bag. So especially sometimes the temperatures will drop at nighttime and in the morning, so you need that extra comfort. So I started to head out to Yuma, and when I got to Yuma, I actually, before I went to Yuma, I kind of took a step. Yuma is like 31 hours, 32 hours driving, and I didn't want to rush to get there since I didn't have to. I wanted to kind of stop off, so I did. I stopped off in areas as far as Oklahoma, New Mexico, I went over to California to Palm Springs. I stayed some time there. But I'm realized that after I did it, because that fear set in, it always sets in when you're out there, but it's not a real fear. It's your perception of what's reality. So what I'm finding out is a lot of the fear was up here, and I combated it just by facing that fear and going through it. So it got to a point where, as I was a nomad, I was fearful. What am I going to do when I have the extra time? Well, I figured this: my mobile bedroom is my mobile bedroom. That's where I sleep in. That's what I use my money with the rideshare. So my living room, my dining room, or any other area is outside. So I want to be the type that wasn't captive in a prison of their own making. And a prison of your own making can be a sticks and bricks. It can be a mobile home. It can be anything that you would stay into and hibernate. A lot of people hibernate around outside the elements. But my goal was to go to areas where I would feel comfortable. I'd follow the sun, and the temperatures would be to my liking. One thing nice about being a nomad, I can explore. I can go into any city and nobody knows. Now, when I was thinking about doing it at first, I literally thought about having a trailer and pull behind a trailer, and that would be what I'd sleep in. The trouble with that, as I was traveling, I didn't like the idea where I have to drop the trailer somewhere. And anytime you have a trailer like that, you just can't park anywhere incognito. Everybody knows exactly what you're doing. Second of all, I didn't want to have to pay for a place to sleep or park every night. So that was something I didn't want to do. I didn't want to be forced to that. Now, if I wanted to do that, like stay in a KOA or something like that, that was entirely up to my choice. And I have done that through some of my travels. But I didn't want to be forced to have to do that. So I didn't want all this baggage. One thing I learned is about living in the sticks and bricks. Anxiety was high. My anxiety was always high, and so I didn't want that. I wanted something simple so I can be happy about waking up every day, and I don't have all that stress and all the anxiety facing it because of the structure, the way the rat race makes us live. We're taught to live in a house, to get a bank loan, and be kind of locked into it. So the banks kind of lock us into that. Right now, I'm experiencing a lot of your rentals are doing that now. The rent has gone high sky, and these people are locked into it. Some of them are working 2-3 jobs in order to support that lifestyle. I didn't want none of that. I wanted freedom. Actually, I always thought that I wanted to be in this world, but I didn't want to be of it. And the only time I've ever felt that is when I became a nomad. I feel free. I don't feel like I am in this world, but I am kind of more of a spectator. So if let's say I go in the city and I just don't like it, there's something I feel that's wrong, I get up and leave. And that's really a great thing and a great ability to have, especially when you live in this day and age. So as I was doing it, I wanted to be comfortable. And then as I've been purging a lot of products. I've been kind of eliminating a lot of things, because to me, clutter, dirt, anything like that is frustrating. So as I was doing this, I wanted to make sure, I didn't want anybody to get in my car or me to get in the car and it smells like dirty clothes. So one thing I want to do is bring my lifestyle, which is cleanliness and organization. I wanted to bring that into this lifestyle. The only way I could do that is I have to minimize what I have. One of the things I wanted to do is, if I decided to go off somewhere where I didn't have any electricity, I don't want to have to start my car every time I want any type of power. So I did the traditional thing where I got the battery, I got the controller, and then an inverter, and then also a solar panel, so I could have energy or power at nighttime to run fans, to charge my laptop or my phones. But to have some type of power at nighttime where I didn't have to turn the car on and waste gas, and I could still live comfortably. And I have done that. One thing is very important in a vehicle or in any type of living is to have constant air movement. So that's where I use a lot of my energy from, is I have fans that I turn on at nighttime, and it just kind of circulates the air in the vehicle, and it makes it a lot better. One of the other things that I do is all my dirty clothes that I have, I put into a bag and then put that away, and so there's no smell that comes out of that. Another thing I do, I'm constantly cleaning the vehicle because I like clean areas. I also like the riders to come into a clean vehicle. So I have to make it where they get in and they have no idea that I'm living in it. And really, I've never had anybody ever question whether I did or not because of the way I've set it up. One thing about it is very important is that you can set it up for convenience. One of the biggest problems I had the first 3 months of my nomadic journey is I lost things. As I turned the corner, something would go flying and I couldn't find it. Now eventually I knew I would, but one time I had the mouse, to the computer on the side of the passenger seat, and when I went around the corner, the mouse went, and I went to go look for it, and by God, I could not find it. I have lost small things in the vehicle. Now over time I do find them, but one thing I've learned is the most important thing is have a spot for everything. Have a bag for everything, have a spot for everything. So I have a gym bag, for my showers and stuff like that, and it's all in one bag, and it has my essentials like my toe nail clippers and my finger nail clippers, and I also have like little small scissors and stuff I will use as I go, like my shaver. So things I go when I go to Planet Fitness to take a shower. At first I didn't use Planet Fitness. That's a crazy thing. I just didn't do it. I had a pump up sprayer, and then I had a tent where I would go in and take a shower. Now the only problem I had with that is I always had to find a place where it was inconspicuous of me doing it. So it was somewhat of a hassle to do that unless I was out amongst nobody, and then it was relatively easy. But one thing I found out once I did the Planet Fitness, that was that was the best thing I've ever done, because I can always go there. If I had to take a shower twice a day, I could go there and do that. Or if I wanted to work out or run the treadmill, it was available to me. One thing nice about the Planet Fitness on their black membership is I also get free massages, and then also tanning. So if I wanted to do any tanning, and sometimes tanning just makes me feel good. It makes me feel good about me. So it's not so much about the tanning itself, it's just when I do it, I feel good about me. I've done something for me and it makes me feel good. And so I'll do that as well. So as I was going on this journey, I started to question it in some cases, especially the thing I needed to do is the money part of it, because you spend gas, and the price of gas, even prior to our increase, has always been a concern of mine. But since I don't have any rent payment, that I look at as a rent payment. I still try to minimize it and control it, be smart about it. But when I go into a city, and if I need to make some money for my travels, then I can go ahead and turn on my app and go ahead and do rideshare, and that's worked really good for me. One thing I've noticed is that I started out in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and very conservative. Rideshares never really came back. Some of the cities I've hit in, like Memphis, and also Memphis, Tennessee, very busy, very good rideshare city. Another one was Phoenix. Phoenix was amazing. Flagstaff was good. So I've gone to other cities and done very well with the rideshare, and sometimes I'll stay for a week, and that's what I'll do, is just buckle down and make some money and use that money to do some of my travels. It's worked really good for me right now because of everything happening with the pandemic and stuff. Some of us are on some type of catch up, like with credit card bills and stuff like that. And so I'm constantly trying to pay those down to minimize my overhead. The whole idea is to live with less. And really, we're a wasteful society anyhow. And I said this, you can go to a whole block and go to everybody's cupboard and you'll see a bunch of canned goods that they bought but never eat. They could feed a lot of people. And with that, but they don't. We hoard it. So we're a society of hoarding things and holding on to them. It's amazing that when I went out to Arizona, there's mountains, and everybody sees a mountain, they got to climb it. And I don't understand why we have to own everything. If we see something, we want to buy it. If we see something, we want to conquer it. So we're a civilization trying to conquer everything. And I always said that. I don't own an animal. I love dogs, but I don't need to own an animal to get my dog fix. I get my dog fix in the world by meeting other people who have dogs, and that's been fantastic for me, and it gives me a great sense of happiness. So if you like the video, now remember, the only way that I can make this work is if you like the video, go ahead and like it down there, and go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and then I'll alert you the new videos come out. Now, my last video on why I became a nomad is going to be structured more to my organization and my vehicle and stuff, to give you more of an idea of how I live. One of the things that is very important to me is that I get a lot of solitude. Now, since I've done this, I've always had Jesus as my guide. My real reason for doing any of it is I feel compelled that Jesus is putting me on this path. And some of the things I've experienced has been amazing, and I'll get to that in a little bit more. I'm going to do a video just set based on homelessness, because I'm intrigued by why they got there, as well as how they live. So that's very important to me to see that. And so a lot of times I'll do some interviews if I find somebody who's homeless, and I'll do some interviews on their lifestyle. And that's very intriguing to me, and actually liberating. So in some cases, I can reach out to them. I learned a long time ago, I've told homeless people this, and trying to ask for money on the street corners, I've told a lot of them this. I don't want to fish for you. I want to teach you how to fish. And that's really what I do. I want to teach people by giving them suggestions, by giving them ideas, as well as everybody's done that for me. Bob Wells has been instrumental. Linda over Serene, A Simple Life, she's really good. I follow her as well. And then there's Cruz and Chrome on Van City Van Life. But those are some of the plugs for them. If you haven't seen their channel, tune into their channel, because it's really a good channel. You'll get a lot of information with it. And if you have any questions or you want to make any comments below, please do so, because I'm really here to help everybody who wants to do what they see I'm doing. So I appreciate you tuning in and watching and taking the time. I know life's busy and your life's busy. And I know when you do that, you have set aside exclusively for me. And I don't take that lightly. I really appreciate that. So go ahead and subscribe, and I'll alert you on the next video. And it'll be my third one on the series. And if you have any topics you'd like me to cover, or any questions, please do so in the comments. Thank you very much, and thank you for watching.